Oh, hello YouTube. Today in the Naughty Librarian, I am going over my April wrap-up. So April was admittedly a rough reading month for me. I only read about 6 books, which I mean isn't bad in general. There's no real amount of books I have to read. It's just less than usual for me. And it was just, I don't know, I just wasn't in the mood to read anything. Which is like a real new experience for me because I always want to read stuff and I don't know, I was just not wanting to read anything. So not as many books got read this month, but I did read some really good ones and some less than stellar ones. So let's just get into it. Let's start reviewing some books. We're gonna start things off here with books I've already reviewed and book club picks, etc. For the Blades and Bodice Rippers book club, we did Splendid by Julia Quinn. This is OG 23. We're doing the OG version of our respective genres of choice, and I picked romance, and I figured, you know what, why not? Bridgerton is having a lot of seasons come up in the near future, and this is Julia Quinn's first novel. That's OG to me, and it came out in 1995, and if I'm doing a non-verbal review, that about sums it up. In the end, I think I gave it 2.25 stars. So it had its moments, but overall was not that good for multiple reasons. For one, Alex, our male romantic lead in this, is just a raging misogynist. Oh my God. And I'm not even just reading that from context clues. He very simply says, I don't like women. I think women are bad. I have no regard for women, multiple times throughout the book. So it's very unusual that we're supposed to be rooting for this person, but here we are. And then we have Emma. She's actually an American heiress, and she's visiting her family in England, and those two have a romance with each other. Overall, I did enjoy certain parts of the story. I liked the banter between Emma and her cousins, that was really fun. I like Emma's family. All of that banter's great. It's when you get onto Alex's side of things that the book just goes downhill. There's consent issues, there's just bizarre family dynamics over there. He's just so high-handed and awful. And here's the thing, this is how I best sum up Alex, is that just because he's not the worst guy doesn't make him the good guy. He's not the worst dude. He does have some character growth throughout the book. By the end of it, he's women might be people. So progress. But overall, just because he's not the worst doesn't make him the best. So oh gosh, it was not the best read, but I will be honest, this book should have a 2-drink minimum, because if you're 2 drinks in, you mind the problems a lot less. So if you're going to be reading it, 2-drink minimum, and it's more enjoyable. Now, my patron and channel member book club pick for April was The Adventures of Amina El-Sarafi by Shannon Chakraborty, and hot damn did I love this. 5 out of 5 stars. It'll probably make my best books of the year list. I was obsessed. So I went into this trying to temper expectations because I love Shannon Chakraborty, or S.A. Chakraborty, from the Daevabad series, which is incredible. If you haven't read it, check it out. But this is a new series from them, and this series takes place in the Daevabad world, but about 1,000 years before the events of the Daevabad series. So we're going to I don't know, 1200s era Iran. However, it's not necessarily the real world. It has a lot of real world elements in it because it actually takes place in the real world. They talk about countries, they want to go to China, or they want to go to all of these other countries that exist and are real. It's the real world. However, there's also sea monsters and jinn and magical bird people who talk. And when I say bird people, I don't mean people with bird features. I mean it's a person-sized bird that talks. So, there's a lot going on here. But the main point of the story here is we're following Amina El-Sarafi. She is a slightly aging pirate captain, and she basically needs to get the crew back together for one last ride. And she goes about doing that. She goes and finds all of her old friends, and there's a whole cast of quirky misfit characters that you will love, and they're off on an adventure to try to rescue this young heiress and find this treasure. And it's really, really fun. I feel like the swearing in this is highly creative. And it's just like a really fun adventure story, especially if you like a little bit of like pirate action, high sea adventures with magic. You're just gonna love this. It's so fun to read. It's just, chef's kiss. I loved it intensely. So 5 out of 5 stars. Definitely pick this one up. I also got back on track to the Vampire Chronicles series with Merrick by Anne Rice. I already have a whole video reviewing this, so I'm not going to go into detail here, but it's fine overall. I enjoyed getting back into my vampire friends because I just had that whole like sojourn into the Mayfair witches, and this one is actually a crossover because this is Merrick Mayfair. And she's hanging out with, you know, Lestat and Louis and everybody. So it's definitely getting back into the vampire world, but it's a crossover series. So I liked it. It's not amazing. It's like there's some big yikes moments in here, but overall, I don't know, like 3.5 stars. Basically, it's average, it's fine. It's also pretty short, which was nice because Anne Rice's books are just very long, so this one was breezy in comparison. But yeah, it was kind of fun getting into more like magical elements within the Interview with the Vampire universe. So there you go. It had some interesting things in it, but overall it was fine. It wasn't like amazing. Next category is romance, and I read 2 of them. I read A Witch's Guide to Fake Dating a Demon by Sarah Hawley. And you know what? I thought this was delightful. It's very silly and zany, which is an underrated virtue when it comes to rom-coms, in my opinion. This is basically, like the title suggests, a witch and a demon are fake dating. We're following this witch. Her name is Mariel, and she's not necessarily the best at like spellcraft. She's kind of sloppy and things go awry. And one day she's trying to conjure flour to her, and she uses the wrong spell, and whoopsie daisy, she conjures a demon. Uh-oh, there's a problem here. And his name is Ozroth the Ruthless. So like, yikes, bad demon to summon up. However, this is like moody demon with feelings. So they basically get stuck with each other because of this like conjuring bargain that never happened, and like he's bound to it, but she doesn't want to make a bargain. So like, what are they gonna do? So they end up like fake dating, and then they fall in love for real. And I love that. It's very silly, and they have zany characters. I'm excited to read the next book in the series, which I will tell you all I have pre-ordered already because I'm excited to get more adventures here. It's basically the real world like that we live in with a twist because there's magic in it. Everyone knows witches exist, magic exists, there's demons and vampires, oh my. But it's the real world, so with a twist. And I like that. I like that people also have like cell phones and microwaves. And they also have magic and stuff. The only reason I gave this 4 instead of 5 stars is mainly because I wanted to see some more cool magic stuff. Because Mariel really has like earth power. She can control plants, and like basically if she goes deep enough, she can control the very earth itself. So like I wanted to see her do some crazy magic shit that's like scary, and we didn't really get that. We got her talking about it at one point, like what she could do, but we never got to see it. So I'm like, I wanted to see Mariel do some badass stuff, and we didn't really get it. And then also the 3rd act breakup in this is particularly stupid. And I feel like Mariel should have apologized a whole lot more than she had. Like, it was a fucked up thing to do, and I feel like more groveling was deserved. So, there you go. But I am excited to see where this goes next. It's gonna be with one of her friends and another demon, and I'm like, yes, let's see where that happens next. I want to see all of like the zany antics. So, 4 out of 5 stars, a fun, delightful romp. I also attempted to read Lunar Love by Lauren Kung Jessen, and I will admit I DNF'd this. I read half though, so I read a fair amount of this book. I read half of it, and like I just was not into it. I didn't like any of the characters. I appreciated what it was trying to do. I just think it didn't do it particularly well. So this is Liv and Bennett, and they kind of meet. It's more like I don't know, enemies to lovers, allegedly. I don't really think like the enemies setup was done particularly well. But Liv, she is taking over her family business, which is a matchmaking service that uses like Chinese zodiac to match people with each other. It's very traditional in the Chinese mythology and the culture and everything. And she's like, this is the best thing. And then you have Bennett, who's from a similar background, and he has created like a dating app, like a Tinder type of thing, that also uses the Chinese zodiac as a matchmaking platform. So it's like, we're gonna butt heads. And then like Liv is honestly just like the worst. I just don't like her at all. She does some really fucked up stuff to Bennett, frankly. And I'm like, am I supposed to be rooting for this person? She is horribly lying and being deceitful. And frankly, like, this is a lawsuit waiting to happen. This is borderline corporate espionage. Oh my God. And we get like these hints that she has a backstory here somewhere. And I was 50% of the way through and all I had heard of was hints of it. And it's like, okay, so you had one shitty relationship. I don't know anything about it. It's barely talked about. I don't care how shitty the relationship is, you still can't be a bitch. Like, I don't know. And Bennett's not like all that bad in general, but it's just stupid what they're doing. They're trying to like matchmake each other to prove their platform is better, even though like they're obviously like in love with each other, and it's just stupid. I got mad at it. So I really wanted to like this because I thought the whole like Chinese mythology thing and like the zodiac would be super cool as like a cultural element in this book. And it is. I do like that element and how deep they go into it. But the characters, not my fave, if I'm gonna be honest. I didn't really like the characters, but I do like what it's trying to do. So there's that. So the last book I read was kind of a book outside of my comfort zone because I read The Night Agent by Matthew Quirk. And I don't know, I picked it up because I saw there was going to be like a Netflix show or something. It was on one of those streaming chat sites. I don't remember what it is because I haven't watched it. But I did see the trailer for it and I was like, that seems cool. So I went and got the book. And it's fine, I guess. I don't know. In the end, I think I gave it 3 stars. It's fine. It's like, spies, espionage type of story. And I will be honest, I guessed the bad guy immediately. Like, immediately. Want to know why? Because every type of crime, whodunit mystery type of story like this, like who's the bad guy, who's the spy, or like who's the killer, la la la. Every type of genre has a expected story arc. That's how they work. In these types, I'm sorry to ruin them for you, but it's the second character introduced into the narrative. And guess what? The second character introduced into the narrative, totally the fucking bad guy. And I guessed it because I just went straight off of that. Straight off of my knowledge of a story arc that's expected. And wasn't I right? Yes, I was. So knowing I picked it immediately made it a little less exciting when it was revealed that this is the bad guy. And I'm like, yeah, obviously. So that's about where I was with it. I did want to like this more than I did. Our main character is basically like the Boy Scout archetype where he's like, I have to do everything by the book because I have a dark past and then people will respect me, la la la. So he's off trying to save the world even though there's bad guys and stuff and like murders. And it's all like, Washington, D.C., and like the Russian government is trying to like infiltrate our government and like run things. And it's like all, political espionage, and it's fine. I don't really think a lot of the characters are super well developed. Even our main character, he's playing the archetype of the Boy Scout. And what? Like, I don't really get a lot more personality out of him except for that. I don't see who he is outside of that. Like, he plays basketball. That's all I know. So it's getting 3 stars, making it like an average read for me, because like it was pretty action packed, and they threw in twists and turns and like a lot of like near misses and like, oh no, there's a gunfight type of stuff. So I appreciated the action elements. I do love a good spy thriller, but it was fine. I didn't really think like a lot of character work had been done. And it follows a lot of really well-trod archetypes. So if you love those, good for you. I think you would get into this. For me, I was just like, I was a little disappointed that they didn't like put a new spin on these tropes. They just kind of went by the book on it. So whatever, it's fine. I think if you bought it at an airport and you read it on a long flight, you'd have a good time. All right, so that's all I read in April. It wasn't a lot of stuff. And some were good, some were very good, honestly, and then some were like, okay, I don't know, it was, maybe that's why I was in such a slump. I wasn't really reading stuff that I was like in love with. I was just reading it for the sake of reading it. So I don't know, maybe more DNFs are in my future. Instead of trying to push through, if I don't like it, I'm just gonna stop reading it immediately. Maybe that'll help. I don't know. Anyway, let me know in the comments down below. Have you read something outside of your comfort zone recently? And if so, what was it? Let me know in the comments down below. If you like this video, make sure you give it a like. If you want to see more videos, make sure you subscribe. If you want cool exclusive content, including early access to videos and a book club, you can consider becoming a channel member or a patron. Links for that are in the description down below. And on that note, I will see you guys soon. Goodbye.